What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Third and Longhorn. And I think I'll say Jeremy Hills and Alex Okafor had such a good time on the post game. And I know you guys couldn't be there, so I wanted to give you guys a chance to have your time unpacking the Texas versus Texas A&M game. I know everybody was anxious to hear y'all's thoughts, so this will be fun. But I think we'll go through the game in a second. But we're filming this Tuesday afternoon, so obviously we'll learn a lot tonight when these playoff rankings come out. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts to open on, does 9-3 Texas deserve to be in the playoffs?
I believe so. I believe so. Now the hard thing about this, you can make a debate for them to get in, and you can somebody can make a debate for them to be out, right? Mm-hmm. But when you really look at it, strength of schedule and what we've done throughout the year, getting better, and the quality wins we have, man, what was that, 5 top 15 teams that we played, and we went 3-2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's 5 top.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 10 teams.
Yeah, we went 3-2.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Now, Florida was not. That was a loss that everybody is holding over our head. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, can Texas can beat about 4 or 5 of those teams just right off back that are in top 12 right now easily. I wouldn't say easily, but they can beat them for sure. It just tells you how flawed it is. And it's been that way. We've just this year we've been on the other side of it because we lost that big game, that non-conference game. Last 2 years, we won them, right? I mean, So it's been pretty good for us. But we're on the other side of the spectrum right now. Fingers crossed. We're saying our prayers. It's gonna be tough, but man, I was proud of my guys. I was proud of them, man. They freaking. It was like heavyweight fighters out there, and I love when it doesn't go your way early and you got to fight back. Yeah. Man, that tells you that we have a confident team. We got a tough team, and at the top of that team, you got Arch. It's leading the way. That for me, that's what it's about.
Yeah, Arch is balling. No, I mean it's hard not to be biased as a Longhorn fan.
And for the record, we're 100% biased.
Yeah,
yes, it's hard not to be biased. Yes, of course, I think the Longhorns deserve to be in there, but because. I mean, the head-to-head don't seem to matter as much anymore. I don't know why.
That's the most insane thing.
Yeah, you're going to beat like 3 teams. They're going to be headed to the college football playoff, and yet that doesn't seem to hold as much weight. That's frustrating. Sark even said, guys, after the Ohio State game, or maybe it was probably before. I've seen the clip several times of him saying he believed Texas was going to be rewarded for that game. He said that.
Yeah. And we said that. Yeah, like I bet if we went back and pulled the clips,
He said, win or lose, I think we'll be rewarded for that game. And turns out it may be the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, you may be punished for losing that game. So, they do got to figure out something else. I mean, Texas hasn't looked like a playoff team all season long. I'll be the first to say that. But they have looked like a playoff season as of late.
Yeah.
And they're playing their best football right now. And, I don't know how gangster this committee wants to get. I don't know. How gangster do they want to get, right? Because Ole Miss, I know they're a playoff team, but Ole Miss just lost the head coach, the play caller, and half the damn offensive staff.
Yeah.
How's that not? And I know that you haven't seen them as a product yet without, obviously, their head coach and play caller and all of those offensive pieces. But there is precedent because, was it 2023 with Florida State? Lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, the committee actually got a chance to see them perform without that quarterback, and they could justify, look at the drop-off. We gotta knock those guys out of the playoff. But there is a precedent here, so that could be something you look at. I just think ultimately for Texas, they gotta hope that the committee is actually watching the games. And I agree with Sark. I don't know if they're watching the games.
Yeah, they aren't.
I think they're not. Just looking at different data points, things of that nature. So it's gonna be frustrating if Texas is left out of it, and now Texas is threatening to press the button.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know what? And Sark has openly implied it, that we gotta look at how we get the best record rather than
smart, man. I'm all in with that. I agree.
Which means taking Ohio States and taking the Michigans and what was the Bama's back in the day, like all these teams that Texas is going to play in the future that were considered powerhouse blue blood matchups in the pre-conference schedule. you now have to reevaluate that. I don't like that, by the way. But you got to do it.
You got it.
Right.
I don't think anybody likes it.
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it's hard to preach the standard. It's a standard and go, well, you know what, we're gonna take off them big time games, so we don't wanna deal with the loss. And it's like, well, the standard is the standard, but I get it, and this is what the committee is forcing Texas to do, is to play this game, and this game it's about being soft. I like Sark out there politicking. By the way, Sark, head coaches have to wear Texas a lot of different hats. He's wearing the politician hat very well.
Yeah. He's killing it. And shout out to him, John Bianco, everybody. Like,
you guys are great.
They're crushing it.
Blitz. And now convincing everybody. Like, Texas has a good point on this. I even heard Kyle Hurd today say, they should let Texas in. So, they should let Texas in. So I like that. But I don't like politicking seems soft when it comes to football. Like, hey, go settle it on the field. And you said they have settled it on the field for the most part.
Yeah.
And yet that's not respected enough. So now they got to go this other route with the proper.
Rod, I got a question for you. Or is this possible? Maybe it is to go to a 16 game playoff.
Oh, yeah.
In the future.
I think it will.
That
I agree.
Within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable.
Okay. Good. That 3-loss team, if it looks good, like Texas look good,
We'll be in there.
Yeah.
No debate.
Nope.
Like that.
Yeah.
There'll be some other debate about a 4-loss team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think it was Texas. You should never be in that debate. Okay.
True.
You should be in the debate about it. But I understand. Hey, change the schedule. CDC's even said he's not going to comment on it yet. But I think
Just the way he said that tells you everything. Yes.
so. But guys, there's already, I believe, was it Alabama? Somebody's already changed their schedule for the most.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Was
yeah.
it Alabama?
I think it was Alabama.
I think it was Alabama.
Yeah, they moved the game like 8 years later, which is like, we're just taking this off the calendar.
Dude, I'm telling you, if Texas does it, just like LHN, just like when they went to the SEC, there will be a domino effect, and the broadcast networks aren't going to like it because that's big money.
Well, that's what's fascinating. You guys know it. Money runs everything.
Yes,
and that the possibility of these games coming off the schedule changes the landscape of college football in a bad way.
Yep.
And I hate that, but like you said, that's the right thing to do. And Texas has the power to do this, and Texas threatening this is a big deal. And I don't think the committee's going to succumb to that. But also, if you're starting to see people already moving, and you're starting to see, that's going to downgrade the product of college football, and I hate that.
Yeah.
But if that's why the committee needs to stick to their principles, which, you know, they said strength of schedule.
Yeah,
Right.
bring it up.
Strength of schedule, head-to-head competition.
Head?
Comparative outcomes of common opponents without incenting margin of victory, which, by the way, I've heard a lot of the arguments of Texas struggle, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Who cares? Because we won, right? And so, and I get it. We did lose to Florida. We did lose to Ohio State, but, you know, that's that, and Georgia.
Watch the game.
But, yeah, watch the game. And I think that's the problem, is that people they'll look at the Vanderbilt game and be like, Texas squeaked it out. Those teams are pretty even. That game was not even close. It wasn't even close.
Right.
And the Georgia game was close.
Exactly.
And granted, props to Georgia. They came out.
I don't know, yeah.
They
but
swung the
Archman
game.
didn't see the football for 10 minutes of the game, and late after they scored their second touchdown. So
Yeah, no, I think it's fast. And then the last one is other relevant factors, such as unavailability of key players and coaches that may have affected a team's performance. So I think where I get into struggles in this is when the talk is that Vanderbilt will be in over Texas because Vanderbilt's 10-2, Texas 9-3. I completely disagree with that because we saw it on the field. And I think that it's just the whole struggle of Miami versus Notre Dame. Well, there's not really an issue of Notre Dame shouldn't be over Miami. Miami played them and won.
Yeah.
So why are we doing? And also, if I'm Notre Dame,
Great point.
if I'm Notre Dame, and this will probably give me some hate, and that's fine. As a good Catholic, they'll hate this, but Notre Dame should hope that this works out for Texas almost, and they get left out, because if this happens, no one will schedule Notre Dame anymore because Notre Dame's refused to play within conferences, and nobody's going to be incentivized. Who's going to be incentivized to play Notre Dame? You have nothing to gain.
that's great.
And so their scheduling is going to get way tougher. They're going to be playing lesser teams coming in 11-0,
Yeah.
but like
That's
it's
margin
like
for error.
who'd you beat?
They're going to go undefeated almost every.
But even if you go undefeated, people are going to be like, you didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
It's like it's very fast. The whole thing's fascinating.
It is.
And I'm very
Because I think we all agree a turning point. This is going to change college football.
yeah.
Kind of
I agree.
Yeah, whether they decide to let Texas in or whether they don't, then you'll go, if they don't let Texas in, then we know the game. They have clearly laid out the rules of the game. Just get as best record as you can, no matter how you get it.
Yeah.
Get a good record. If you get a good record, you're in.
You're going to see so many teams that are like one loss, undefeated because like they're just not playing anybody.
The SEC got to play 9 games.
That's the
in
thing
SEC, and you got to play another Power 4 team that's also in the SEC rules.
Yeah.
So I mean that does separate, in my opinion, a little bit the SEC.
Yeah.
From everybody else.
All right. Well, let's get. I know we're gonna keep this one a little shorter, but let's get into. Give me your quick thoughts on the Texas versus Texas A&M game where. At the time, number 16 Texas beat number 3 Texas A&M 20-7-17. Also, by the way, I'm joined by Rob Babers, Derrick Johnson. I'm Nick Shuley. It's the thing I'm more sad in the world is introducing people. So, but yeah, give me y'all's quick thoughts on this.
Man, my first thoughts are just seeing the guys grow up, and it's more so Arch, man. I keep bringing his name up, just because. Man, it's just a lot of chatter. This kid has to be tough mentally.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a perfect season, up and down, but he's gotten better. And you have to give him some kind of appreciation and credit for taking all this noise, because there's a lot of noise. A lot of noise on and off the field of who he is and what he's going to be. You got to be excited about the future with Arch in command right now. I look at really the last 5 or 6 games, I would say. I mean, maybe 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That tells you right there, and he's back checking me too. That's good. But that tells you that he's taking care of the ball. When you can take care of the ball as a quarterback, that means really your decision making skills are really good. Like that tells you, all right. We can win a lot of games, and we can structure this offense around him, and we can go a far ways. But man, my hat's off to Arch. Running game was on. I mean, the last couple of years we've been kicking their butt with the running game, so he's found something out with that. I wish we were running a lot more like that. That was awesome, looking at those gap scheme runs and the zone runs or whatever. Defensively, man, they came to play as well. Are we talking about offense or defense?
We're just doing offense now.
Yeah,
defense, so.
I just love it. I like when things don't work out early, and then you don't blink, and then you get the confidence and you keep swinging. That's what I like. The crowd was in it too. I was at the game. It was all it was really awesome. And Sark answers those questions each week about, hey, people saying, oh, he should not, call the play. It's his team. He's gonna call the play, and he's good at it. He knows what he's doing.
For a guy that needed to get fired and a quarterback that needed to get benched, I think they did okay.
Yep.
So for everybody calling for that, it's hey, patience, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nate Tice recently said that if Arch was coming out this season based on the last 5 games, he would have him as his number 1 quarterback.
Oh wow,
coming out, because he's been playing.
He's been playing
really well.
And you look at his intangibles and like his physical measurements, etc. Like there are not a lot of teams that would be like, I don't want this.
Everything's gotten better. You brought up the decision making, but the pocket awareness, his pocket presence, right? I mean, Texas.
That's the big deal.
The one throw. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yes, the one. Oh my gosh.
It's just amazing that he's able now to kind of maneuver in the pocket. And overall, I think what I love about Arch's game now is he's just confident. He just looks like a more confident player. You can see the swag now. He's not doubting himself as much. And I think that the whole team has kind of benefited from that. But give Sark a ton of credit, guys. This is one of those great games where Sark, and even I was wrong too about how Texas had to win this game. I thought, Texas needs to pass to open up the run. They got to exploit the matchups on the outside, generate explosive plays via the passing game. And Sark thought that too. That's why in the first half you had 4 running back runs in the first quarter. You had 8 running back runs in the first half. Sark was thinking like me, but then it didn't work, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. Sometimes you're wrong. Yeah. Now you do all this preparation, you're like, damn, I was realizing midway through the first quarter, I was wrong about it.
Back to last year. It works.
Exactly. You go, and I think you realized that was one thing that was working for me. It was the run game. It was the first damn play of the second half.
Oh, right.
And I don't know if that was an inside zone at that double team up there.
That's good.
Tre Wisner broken 40-something yards. He was like, okay, I got it.
Okay, that momentum, you could feel it at that moment, man.
Because Sark knew I got something that works. And once Sark knows, that's when you're in trouble. I mean, that's why he's not good versus Georgia, because Georgia, he can't figure out what's working versus Georgia.
Yeah.
It was kind of sporadic. He's just got throwing blank at the wall and seeing if it sticks. But when Sark figures out that something's working, he's going to pull that thread till the whole damn thing unravels. And he did with the run game. Over and over again. And it wasn't just outside zone. It was inside zone.
Yeah.
The beauty, and this is what Sark, when he found that run game that was working, and then he started dialing up some beautiful tendency breakers. It's things that we haven't seen in a while, if we've ever seen them. The Nick Townsend, jet sweep.
Genius.
Genius.
A&M didn't even have Nick Townsend's name on anything.
They did not. No, they was not.
I didn't. I was like, they're not gonna give it to him. Oh, they gave it to
No
him.
preparation. First of all, we haven't seen them give it to the tight end like that in a long time, if ever.
Yeah.
All right?
I don't think I've ever seen Sark.
They had to go back to way in Sark's first year, maybe to find something like that.
We need CB to check us on that one.
But then you got Nick Townsend, who you haven't utilized. You haven't weaponized him yet this season. So that was a great tendency breaker. I love he used Arch in the empty formation with the split zone quarterback run.
Oh, yeah.
That was a beauty that he dialed up. I thought Sark got deep in his back. And here's somebody else who benefited from the run game. I think Sark benefited from it because it made his play calling a lot easier. Arch benefited, of course, because he was 6 of 8, I think.
Yeah.
In the second half. Hey, what do you have? 20-something pass attempts in the first half?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Ended up being 6 of 8 in the second half, whatever it is. So he benefited, but Jack injuries. Talk about what you need in this game is, my man Jerry Hamilton always says, unlikely heroes. Jack injuries. Best game that he's played as a Longhorn. And I don't think it's a coincidence. That is your best run game performance as an offense, and yet Jack injuries, your tight end goes off. Sark's tight ends have been really good since he's been here, right? Whether you're talking about J.T. Sanders, we're talking about Gunnar Helm last year, he was awesome. And we expected Jack injuries to pick up right where he left off, but he didn't. Why? Because the running game was off.
Yeah.
You a linebacker. You know what it does when the
yeah.
run game is working, and you got a tight end, you got to worry about this working the second level. And I think that's why Jack injuries hasn't been that much of a weapon. But when the run game went off, what happened? Jack injuries going on. They can't even cover him. He was out there looking. Mel Kiper was like, this guy looks like an NFL prospect. That's all he felt like. Oh, look at that. Now he looks like an NFL prospect. But it's because I think everything's working in synchronicity. So I'll give Sark a ton of credit. Arch was great, but the adjustment, Sark putting his ego to the side and going, man, you know what? I don't care how it looks. And give him credit. He said that week, when they asked him, are you going to stick with the run game versus the Aggies? And he said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
And I love that answer because it don't matter about the run game or the pass game. Whatever's working, just do that. And that's exactly what he did with the run game. Great job, Sark. Great job, Arch. It was
and shout out to I think that gets left out. And I know we get accused of being in like the university's like pocket and stuff like this, being a mouthpiece, which we're not. But we just saw the long-term vision here and believe in what's going on, I think. And look, there are moments where it doesn't look like we want it, or it doesn't, or it's not what we think it's gonna be. But I think that the adversity that Sark has faced this year, like that gets lost, right?
Yeah,
like the amount of things that have come against him and the way he's calling the games and things like that. And look, it wasn't perfect. There were moments, but I also think this team's been trying to find its identity. So it's tough to call plays when you don't know who you are. And they've really, but the sign of a good team is growth.
Yeah,
like
they
have grown so much. And I mean, you look at the product, that team came out and look, it looked a little shaky at the start against A&M. They kind of felt their way around.
in defense.
And that is the craziest thing is that we had our 2 best running games against the 2 best D lines. But how does that make any sense?
Rivals?
Yeah. Oh, you go. A&M and Tre is the rival.
The rival slayer.
He really is, man. No, but I think look, like give them their flowers. And yeah, this team had its moments where we were like, what's happening here? But like they really came together. And shout outs to them too, because these close wins and things like that, those are still tough games to win, right? Like you're on the road in the SEC. Those aren't easy wins. And in the past, a lot of Texas teams would have lost those games.
They would have lost. He's one of them. I'm with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Feel that way.
So, and I'm not saying this season was perfect because it wasn't. We had our moments and things like that. But I just love the way we got to kind of wrap up this regular season by taking down the Aggies and handily taking them down too. I think that might have been the part that felt the best. Was I think the Aggies had a little doubt in their mind walking in because everybody doubted them.
Yeah.
I think they walked out of there with a lot of doubt.
Yeah.
Like
You learned a lot about your coach too this year. Like you said, he as a politician had well, but when the fans needed answers because he random reports, Desmond Howard, Dan Rossini, whatever it is, people calling him out saying, "You need to hire an offensive coordinator." His first time he was asked about that this year. I thought he handled it all really, really well.
There's nobody better in the press conference. And in college football, I stand by that. As far as coaches go, I don't know who's better.
Yeah.
Like he can be the statesman when he needs to be. He can be the aggressor,
Politician when he needs to
the
be.
defender. And he sticks up for his guys. So
Good job.
shout out.
Yeah.
Now I'm just a homer anyway. So, but I just think I like where this thing is and where it's going. But especially with how it was going at one point.
Because they face a lot of adversities. We haven't seen them face this much adversity since probably 2021.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? Like
Like
2021. But we expected it then, but they faced a ton of it
Yeah.
and done really well.
And things turned a little more this year. People turned on Texas. So I think and like last year, people get mad that Quinn should have done this or that, but we're still winning. So it was it was easier.
Right
but
about that.
all right, so defensively, Derrick, I'll let you start, man. What did you like here?
Man,
Start with Ethan Burke.
absolutely. You talking about a guy that's a blue collar worker. I mean, doesn't get a lot of praise in what he does because he's more of a power rusher. But you talk about a hard worker, man. Whenever I go out to see the practices, I mean, he's the first guy breaking them down. He's the guy. He's that guy where everybody he holds everybody accountable. When you're out there on the field, Ethan Burke is the hardest worker out there. He's not the most athletic guy, but you talk about big, strong, smart. He made a lot of plays in this game. I don't know if he had a couple sacks, but I mean, it looked like it. I mean, he was all over the field, and to add that with Jelani McDonough and Leonga LaFowl. I mean, Leonga had over 10 tackles. I mean, especially having Anthony Hill out. I mean, to have other guys step up. Simmons gets another sack. He's over 10 sacks now. Man, it was they were humming at the bit, man. And in that second half to hold them to 7 points, I think when you go against a quarterback like Reed, I think it's hard. I think it's hard just because he can run so well. In order to rush him and keep him in the pocket and kind of corral him. Of course, he got out a little bit, but it opens up a lot for the offense when that guy can move around and extend plays and throw it down the field. We got 2 turnovers. I mean, and they came at the right time to really seal the deal. It just lets you know, man, we've been a little more up and down this year defensively that I did not expect. But shout out to young Kobe Black, man. Stepping in there, they're looking for another guy on the other side, and that young guy stepped up. Yep.
Yeah.
Because Cade Phillips went down again.
Yeah.
So
And that's another young guy, right?
Yeah, there's a youth movement going on in that secondary, which is really good. But yeah, Leonga LaFowl, thought he was great considering Typhon Smith was out for the first half.
Yep.
Brought up no Anthony Hill. So you got to give him a ton of props for stepping up at that linebacking spot. But Ethan Burke, did Sark call him a mechanic back in the day, something like that? Blue collar work. I swear that was like one of the nicknames like Sark had for him. But I didn't even think, I wasn't sure Ethan Burke, was an NFL player before this season. But I think he have put some things on tape this season that says he can play at the next level. In this game, he took it over. Remember, he made a hell of a play last year in this game.
Oh, yeah.
That seems to be a theme. The guys are like, no, I ball against A&M.
Yeah.
I ball out against my rivals. You know how that goes. Like, no, I ball out against my rivals. I'm a baller, and I do that. I think for Ethan Burke, man, he's in that legendary status now of guys who wreck shop against the rivals, and Longhorn fans don't forget that, man.
Yeah.
Dude, he marches to his own drum
true.
too. I like it. They were talking about that, but we saw it live when we were in the stadium. They started playing that Mariah Carey,
All I Want for Christmas.
All I Want for Christmas. And Ethan's like vibing out. We're all like, what is happening?
Well, that's fun, man.
He's his own dude, man.
And he said he went out there and made some plays actually. Like that was his groove.
He was all hyped up.
So yeah, we gotta give him props. And I'll give PK a lot of props as well, because you talk about all the different threats the Aggie offense presents. I mean, that offense is loaded, guys.
Yeah.
One of the best wide receiving cores in college football. Running game is loaded. Offensive line is the Joe Moore Award finalist.
Oh, wow.
Offensive line, and Marcel Reed is a multi-dimensional player, and yet none of those elements took over the game for the Aggies. They made some plays. I mean, they're good players. They made plays.
Yeah.
But they never took over the game.
They never took over.
Like Concepcion, at the end of the half, I was like, Concepcion.
I know, you
take
could
over
feel
the
it.
damn
You could
game.
feel it. Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, he about to take it over. And It didn't. It never really happened. Texas was able to snatch back the momentum. So I'll give PK credit. I said he had to take away. It's going to be hard taking away all those different threats and figuring out what you got to take away at any given down or distance or what drive you want to take it away, because you don't have the ability to take away all those different weapons they have. But I thought PK did a great job dialing up the game plan and really kept them off balance. Like they never really found their groove.
No.
Offensively.
And shout outs, I will give a lot of credit to Marcel Reed compared to last year. Like he's
improved
a long way. You can tell he worked, but Concepcion is phenomenal. Like, and watching him, like he's so dangerous, and like he had that punt return that Ethan Burke saved it with.
Spun him around. I'm like, oh God, get him down.
That's an NFL player. You tackled him by his undershirt.
Yeah,
right there.
I mean, that was a game-saving tackle.
It really was. He gains at least another 15 yards.
Yeah,
not break a tackle and
big time.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other piece of special teams. Like I think Bomeister had a good game. Like I think he had one that he didn't mean to get to Concepcion, but otherwise direct. He was able to keep it away from him, and Shipley came in, made his field goals. Ethan Burke with the huge field goal block. That was just crazy too. And dude is long. He's 6'7", man. He's got a wingspan too, and I don't know. It was a fun game. The atmosphere at the game was one of the best I've ever witnessed in that stadium, and I've been to most of the games there. I was
told that too by a lot of guys who went. They said they ranked it toward their best, the best in-game atmosphere they've been to.
Oh wow,
energy was awesome. I mean, that's something you want to experience. That's something that the Longhorns are gonna remember forever. Like at that game, of course, winning, but just the energy and the players, and just after that, you saw you saw the players sitting on the field. That moment with Taft and the guys. That's what you do the game. That's why you play the game. So
I also will give a shout out. We've had him on the show, Caden Hyde, who does the the marketing and the in game stuff. The troll level that they got to when they played so the Aggies love Mo Bamba. They play that, and like it just said on the scoreboard, it said Mo Bamba parentheses he went here. With just and then to play that Elko of like we're the flagship program in the South. Like the troll levels, it was strong. Well done. Yeah, it was killer. It got everybody hyped. Well, you guys got anything else before we get out of here? We'll obviously check back in and once we know
keeping
more.
our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I would like the committee to do it. It would take something drastic. To do, but they can justify it, man. So keep hope alive.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop some comments in there. Tell us if you think Texas is going to get in, etc., or what you think the setup is. I'm sure other teams will jump in here too. Maybe some Aggies and other fans. But anyway, we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll be back soon. Hook 'em.